There isn't a one-size-fits-all for almost anything in life, so don't settle for a one-size-fits-all setup. Eliminate the frustration in building with an AI-powered personalized toolkit to boost you forward to victory. Optimize your setup and improve your performance over those cookie-cutter builds used by the rest of the pack. Vantage is Iracing.com's first AI setup builder. Save your time and give back to your personal life. Vantage takes any setup for any track and adjusts it specifically to your needs. Choose from over 100 cars for any paved circuit. A custom-tailored experience that's easy to understand and tested to fit any driver's style. Subscriptions as low as $8.50 per month. And for a limited time, new members get a 7-day free trial with unlimited access to all Vantage has to offer. Let Orange Speed Vantage free you of the endless loop of testing and get you back on track to victory lane. Visit orangespeedvantage.ai to get started.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. Iracing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iracing.com.
It's one of the most grueling races in motorsport. 66 teams, multiple drivers, and deep into the night, everyone competing for the main prize. Here tonight from the virtual Daytona International Speedway, it's the Daytona 24, presented live on V-Speed. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and tonight, Orange Speed Sim Racing's team is competing in two different splits. We have the American Central Car and then the SRT International, with Sean Langton behind the wheel currently. As we look at Daytona In the 2-car class, a 24-hour event right now, 66 degrees. This race started at 7 a.m. this morning. So these drivers just under 12 hours, about 3 hours shy of that. And currently out on the track, we look at Sean Langton. He is in the 2nd position. His best lap time is about 0.2 of a second off, but currently running about 7 seconds faster than the CUDA E Motorsport driver. That's Sathis. I'm not even going to attempt that name. Let's get your current grid up on the track here in the ticker. Yeah, can you see why I didn't want to say that one out loud? Anyway, here live on V-Speed tonight, we're going to have several different drivers up in the booth. And currently out on the racetrack, Sean Langton. Ryan Depew will be joining us up in the booth as well. We're going to hang out with the guys directly in the Orange Speed Discord and get their opinions on how the cars are driving, be part of the driver rotations, and we'll do this presentation for as long as we can before the driver rotation happens again. But I hope you guys enjoy the coverage here. A little out of the ordinary for V-Speed. We're going to turn right here tonight. But without further ado, let's get a good look at the track map. This 3.56 miles, 12 turns. Track originally opened in 1959 as a super speedway. It was later moved and relocated from the sandy beaches of Daytona, just inland. So now this is my time to hop on into the Orange Speed Live and talk to some of these guys. I got Morgan Cook, Riley, Ross, Ryan Depew, you guys hanging out here in the Discord currently, and we're watching Sean Langton go around the racetrack right now. Looks like he's doing pretty well. He's chasing down, I can't even attempt that name right now, but he is chasing him down by about 8 seconds a lap.
That would be our good friend Coco Origami.
Coco Origami. Yeah. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I tried, but yeah, it didn't go well.
Yeah, he has been pretty quick today, but no match for our Sean Langton, that's for sure.
So you guys just got done with the driver rotation. How difficult is it to, I know I like to take naps, how difficult is it to be punctual and rely on those guys to get there?
Morgan, you want that one?
Yeah, I got it. It's not too bad. Really just depends on, how well those expectations are set to start. We keep a pretty steady rotation, the two stints per driver, and show up on time, right? And then go out and drive. I had a nap just before this and did my 2 stints, and here we are.
I'm speaking with Morgan Cook currently, and Ryan, you kind of the captain of this ship here, steering it away from the icebergs. How many icebergs have you had to avoid here today? I heard there was a little door slam for the lead, Morgan.
There was. It was good racing, and I love that Morgan was going for the lead right there. We've led a lot of laps in this one and are looking pretty good overall. Still not at the halfway point yet, so still a long road to travel. But yeah, threw it in there, and circumstances were such where we wound up losing some time, but started making it back up. We're in real good shape, Bradley, with both cars. We got Sean right now in this split. We've got Dakota driving in a different split, leading that race by might be 2 laps by now.
Yeah, we'll transition. We'll watch both splits as we go through the coverage. But I wanted to start with this first split because this is the more powerful of the cars, correct?
You mean in terms of driver rating average?
More like speed, I guess. There's GT3 cars out there, and then so you have the BMW GT3. There's quite a few other ones. They're a little bit lower horsepower, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 2 classes in both of our splits. In real life, there are 4 classes that compete in IMSA for this one, but here we don't break up the GT3 class. It's just all one. And then we didn't get any LMP2s in our splits. So yes, just 2 for us here. The GTPs are the prototypes that you're seeing here that Sean's driving.
It's currently riding on board, and kind of neat to see the interior of this car. It looks like it has RGB inside of it. It looks like the inside of my computer.
Yeah, and have you tried to drive one of these yet?
No, I'm not brave enough. I'm an oval guy. You know this.
Well, I got you beat there. But no, it's a great car to drive. These guys do a great job in prepping for this for a better part of 3 months, and excited that the day finally got here.
Something else that I want to turn the attention to, you guys have been taking these setups and using them based off of your new Orange Speed Vantage, and how much did that come into use to help tweak these setups, or was there anything that you did differently than everyone else?
Oh, it's hard to know. I think each of the guys played around quite a bit. Having the AI-powered tool that understands all the intricacies about the car all at once, it is pretty neat. But got to give everybody else credit. There are lots of setup shops with really good drivers that do a really, really good job. So, yeah, we definitely use Vantage, and it is an advantage. I'm not quite sure how else to answer that.
Well, the best answer is it worked, obviously. You've got 2 cars in the top 3. I mean, one's leading, one's about to be, as they shave off more time, the gap about 27 seconds, but that's really nothing when you span it out over a course of 24 hours.
Yeah, we keep talking about as long as we don't beat ourselves, right? And it's that part of the race right now where you have to settle in, just have to just churn out the laps, stay steady and consistent, not overreact. And if we stay this close or lead some more laps, then that's doing what we want to do, but we don't want to beat ourselves. There's been a lot of carnage already, really early in the race. That first hour had a lot going on, put a lot of teams on the back foot right away.
Shout out to Chad Bonflynn. Cool cars. Yeah, very cool cars. Taking these things around this racetrack, and you're seeing the aerodynamic pull of keeping the downforce, those front tires. Compared to a stock car that we're used to broadcasting here on V-Speed, these things are a completely different animal. In fact, instinctively, a stock car driver would want to brake more before the apex. Some of these cars, you have to stay on throttle or you won't make it through the turn.
Yeah, that's definitely one for Morgan. Want him to field that one, being the expert driver that he is in both classes.
I don't know about that. Anyway, they call me on the hook for a reason. But no, these cars are interesting. Definitely, you get a lot of braking power early with the downforce, and then you can let it roll through the center of the corner. And then with the traction control the way that it is, you can really stomp on it, assuming your settings are correct, obviously. You can really stomp on it and get it to rotate and hang off of the outside tire without spinning. Unlike a stock car, obviously, with no traction control, where you have to really feather the throttle up off the corner.
It's a little more forgiving in some aspects, but then in other aspects, you're carrying such speed. And with the other split of cars out here, sometimes you get into a situation, they're a little bit off pace compared to what we got right now with Sean Langton. And when you approach those guys, you really have to plan accordingly, because you can mix up in the wrong spot of the track and end up in trouble.
That is the entire difficulty of endurance racing, and he summed it up quite well. The GT3 cars are about 14 seconds a lap slower. They have 0 drive off the corner, and they don't turn as well compared to the GTP cars. So we can kind of estimate when we're going to catch them, but it doesn't mean we always catch them in a good spot, right? You want to get them on the exit of the corner where we can just pull and drive away. But sometimes here you're going to see Sean's going to pull up and get one kind of right in the apex of turn 1. And you have to make a decision really quickly right here. Do you go inside or outside? Right? How do you know? Because that car was in the middle, and now he's on the outside, and now he's on the inside, and now he's on the inside again, and now he's on the outside.
He's driving his natural line, and I think most of it was he didn't want to get in the way, but he also didn't want to cause problems for Sean. That's the difficulty of, you got to predict what they're going to do in their car as well.
That's right. It's difficult as well, because they want to get out of the way the best that they can, but their getting out of the way is usually getting in your way. What GTP drivers usually tell GT3 drivers is, pick a line and just stick with it. Make it obvious what you're doing. If you're going to run the inside, the outside, the left, the right, whatever the case is, just don't run the middle. And same thing with the lap cars and oval, and we'll get around you as the faster car, but that message doesn't always come across properly.
And Ross, shout out to you in chat. I see you out there. It's kind of strange, though, that you're talking to me through the V-Speed YouTube chat, because I'm in the channel with you if you wanted to say hello. But outside of that, so far, you guys have done phenomenal. I know last year you had a great outing. I believe you won in both classes, or just one?
No, we had one car in last year's event and brought it home second. So podium finish in our first attempt.
I see. So outside looking in, not familiar with the endurance side of things. The closest I've ever gotten to doing an endurance race was on Gran Turismo. And after about 4 hours, I passed out. So I can never 100% that game.
Well, this one is, you work for it, you prep for it. When you first start getting to know the car and working on locking in a setup, it's really easy to go after the quick lap times, and there's a bit of a competition within the team for that. But then you find that groove in the couple of weeks leading up to the event, where you really find that consistency, and you train to do a double stint. Right, it's 2 fuel runs, get tires and fuel in between. We know about how long that takes, 39, 40 minutes, depending on traffic. And so we just really find that we can plan really well and stay alert for when things change suddenly, and can adapt well to it. But the team put in a ton of time, a ton of hours, turning laps, just getting really, really comfortable with this car track combination.
In the list of names, we have Dakota Floyd, Garrett Helmlinger, Thad Miller, Justin Ritchie currently spotting, I believe, for Sean Langton, Kyle Stewart, Morgan Cook. So many people making this happen. Ross Phillips.
I'm here now, speaking of her.
Hey, how's it going?
Just woke up.
Just woke up. So
Yeah.
how's the other side of that? How's the other side of that? You guys consuming mass quantities of energy drinks?
No, I got up early this morning because I started the beginning of the race in my our team over on the USA side. Sorry, still tired. Drank a couple of cups of coffee, got after it this morning, and then kicked back and relaxed a little bit, and then kind of tiredness kind of hit me. I hit my second stint, and I could feel it, so I need to lay down, catch about an hour worth of sleep. So.
How much does fatigue play a role into it? You get behind the wheel and you start to get that tunnel vision. I know after a 300-mile race and the oval side of things, you can definitely get tunnel vision, start to miss your marks. The fatigue sets in. So how much is that playing a role in what you guys got going on?
In these cars, a lot. Yeah, you catch a lot of it, especially in this with multi-class and the left and right. I mean, you got to hit your marks perfect. Like Morgan was saying earlier, I mean, you got to, actually, I think it was Ryan, a lot of the times on the throttle, you got to help turn the car. It just, if you're tired, it's just not going to work. It's as simple as that. You start ruining your race, and then you can end up taking out somebody else, and it's not what you want. Oval side, even if you catch tunnel vision a little bit, you're still there, and, pace might slow down a little bit, but you got plenty of room for errors. This one didn't really have too much room for errors. Go ahead, Morgan, sorry.
I was just going to say, yes, fatigue matters a lot. And ask us in, 12 hours how we're feeling, because we'll be at the tail end of this thing. But right now we're all reasonably, okay. It's only 4 o'clock where I am in the same central time zone. But when we get to 2 a.m., I'm probably not going to be so jolly as I am right now. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Right, Ryan?
Yeah, that's right. Last year was our first attempt at this, and it was funny. I think there were times when we might have had to wake up a driver while he was driving. That was thankfully just once, but got through that. And then I know people like Morgan tend to get a little bit sillier, and you guys know that from the broadcast. So definitely a gift of gab there. That is a fun time.
So as far as investments go, I've heard of these shock collars that you can remote access through Twitch, and with an alert if you pay enough bits. I mean, you could access that technology to keep a driver awake, I think.
I just don't know what to do with that.
No comment. No comment, Bradley.
I play too much. You couldn't give me that kind of control because I'd be zapping them while you're driving.
Yeah. Well, everybody here at Orange Speed gets along well. I don't think we would abuse the privilege of that at all. I wouldn't live vicariously through anybody to do that. So let's go on to we've seen the lead grow back a little bit here. It was down to about 27 seconds, and now Langton at 29, approaching 30. Go back to second place driver Sean Langton. This is the split 39, and you also have a car in the 049 split as well?
Yes.
And that's being driven by Garrett Humlinger currently, correct?
Right now it's Dakota. Garrett is doing the spotting.
Okay. So we'll be transitioning there within a few minutes.
Are we really?
I have no idea.
No. I just woke up, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm on time to get, because when Garrett drives, I'm spotting for him, so.
Oh, we haven't made our first pit stop on this double stint, so you're fine.
Okay.
Probably 20 minutes from a stop.
So currently, all of these drivers that are out here on this racetrack also have similar team sizes. As you see Langton going by on the inside of the bus stop there. A little bit of a gutsy call, but quick maneuver and got around.
Those are the ones where you just hold your breath as a driver, and as the crew, and as the team owner, and as the spotter.
Throw it all
Just
away right there.
Yeah, what was the race in our truck season where like all Orange Speed trucks were wrecking each other, and that really expensive race if it had been real? Remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember being a part of that. I think you actually private messaged me and said expensive night tonight.
Yeah.
4 out of the 5 drivers were out of the race.
I don't know why I just brought that up. Anyway,
Yeah,
entertainment value. You're
Thanks,
welcome.
thanks, Ryan. A lot of faith in us, eh?
I have lots of faith in you for sure.
I think they wrecked each other, actually. It was the biggest problem is it was your own team taking each other out during that race.
Yeah, so in other highlights, Dakota Floyd is currently out front.
Yeah, don't ask me to recollect anything on V-Speed. My memory's still young. I'll bring it up.
I don't remember what race that was. Which
I
V-Speed
just-
broadcast was that?
It probably the one where I got right hooked into the wall. I remember that one.
Where
There
was it?
I believe it was at
that was
Short
it.
Track.
That was Gateway. That's right. Was it Gateway?
Yeah, it was.
WWT?
No? Shorter.
I don't remember. Myrtle? We wrecked a
I
lot of
believe it was
cars there.
Myrtle. Yeah.
Myrtle, there was a lot of it there. So.
Yeah, I think we raced maybe 40 laps under caution in that race, so
Yeah, I think that was Myrtle.
it was a rough one. But here tonight, you gotta fill me in. Are there parts of the track that get slowed down if there are like big wrecks? Are there cautions turned on, or is it just kind of like always have at it?
Oh, we've experienced a bunch of good luck tonight with that sort of thing. So you see, well, which broadcast are you on right now, or which stream?
I'm on 039 with Langton.
Okay, so you just saw him go through turn 1, and so a lot of good luck. We've been ahead of the most of the problems that have happened in turn 1. That is a big bottleneck. If
Right.
people wreck there, multiple cars there, it is a log jam. We've had a couple others. I think, what was it, early on in Justin's run in the bus stop? A couple of GT cars getting into each other, tire smoke everywhere, couldn't see. Evasive action through the grass. We'll take the little slowdown penalty, and we'll be all right. But yeah, there were some pileups behind us, thankfully, in the early going.
Right here, riding on board, just seeing the marks hit repeatedly, the mental focus that it takes, the physicality, and a lot of people would chalk this up. Well, it's a video game. No, this is as real as it gets, and the wheels that I would say most of you guys are running have what they call direct input with the motor and the force feedback, so that it's a lot to steer and constantly keep that wheel controlled. You're constantly fighting the gyro, the bumps in the track, the inertia. It is exhausting. If you're not sweating after a 4-hour stint, you weren't racing hard enough.
Yep, that's absolutely right. I've got, they're still running right now. I've got 2 big fans that are part of my rig. One blowing directly on my upper body and one blowing on my feet. So, it gives us a nice little workout.
I'm sure after 4 hours, that's a lovely smell at your feet, blowing around the house.
No.
Socks on, socks off. I gotta know. Asking for a friend.
On
Who
for
we
sure.
asking though?
Are you
I
wearing
run without
Crocs?
socks.
He strikes me as a Crocs guy.
There was actually a question on one of the pages on Facebook about that, and somebody said, "Hey dudes."
Hey dudes, yeah, that's actually
Hey dudes. That's funny.
what I wear. They're light, but they're still a shoe. You still get that
They're nice.
feeling of wearing. Yeah, and they're not, sweat. Now, I also have since graduated. That's probably part of the reason that me personally, not a road fan, because I started out the simulator with G27 pedals, and what a difference it makes to get a good set of pedals with a load cell brake.
Yeah, that is
Yes.
huge. I think it's really
Everyone not all wants now.
I just wanted someone to fill the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot during our preparation for this, because not everybody on the team has the load cell brakes at this point. But boy, when you're prepping for a long road course race like this, you definitely want those. A couple of us had the a little bit embarrassing moment of having the pedals for quite a while before realizing, oh, got to click that load cell box. Suddenly things are much, much better.
Yeah, it cleans it right up.
Another thing
Kind of
to
like
note
our-
too is the setup is a little different for the guys who don't have load cell pedals. Not necessarily like the base setup, but the in-car adjustments. You need a longer braking distance with the
Your
non-load
brake
cell
bias
pedal.
is a little different.
Yeah, so you can't modulate quite properly, so you have to
Right.
make changes here and there. So it does actually make an on-track effect to the pedals. It's not just a driver feeling thing. It's like an actual tangible difference.
In the car, yeah. Yeah, and we adjust that kind of stuff, especially in fixed setup leagues, where it will help the car turn, or your braking distance will change a little bit. It'll help save the tires for a longer distance. And those are things that even with a load cell, I think you could adjust it to your preference, or if you're in endurance mode, or if you're, you have to go, like right now, 27 seconds, we're starting to see that time come back down to 27 flat. And I think most of it right now is Sean has had to navigate a lot of GT3 traffic here in these last couple laps, so he's starting to put it back on.
Yeah, he likes it when the car gets a little bit lighter too. That just when we're in the second half of the fuel stint, and when it's cold like this as well, something else, the proverbial high gear kicks in, and he knows he can make quicker lap times. So I bet we see him getting in the lower 32s here momentarily.
John is a prime example of your brake bias, because he absolutely loves driving his car off the rear of it, off the rear tires.
I saw that going into turn one. It was kind of like he took a trapezoid approach to that corner. He set the nose all at one time, and now flashing the lights to let this guy know, hey, I'm coming up on the outside. That's another tactic. But man, the closing speed just so fast that Porsche had no chance. So now we're approximately 11 hours into this session, or is it 10?
About
it's
9.5.
9.5. Okay. Yeah, so we're deep into this thing right now, sitting in second place. You guys are sitting pretty, because I want to say the 78 team is on. We're looking at their stint here. They've pitted once as well. Match the time in the box. You're pretty consistent there with. You're 4 laps older on the stint, so that a little bit earlier pit for you guys compared to the leader. Gained 4 spots in your class. And you're looking pretty well. I think you're within striking distance. I know when we watch these races at ovals and anything that we broadcast, it's a short, hour and a half, hour, 2 hours, somewhere in there. In those races, if you see 24 seconds, you're already thinking, oh God, this guy's dominating, it's over with. That's not the case here with these races.
No, we led a significant chunk of this race early as well. We led for over quite a few of the hour marks, and just had some bad incidents on my stint there, this last one, and kind of lost touch with the leader back to this 24-25 second gap. But we're still right in this thing. If you're on the lead lap, you've got a chance.
How's speaking of which, how's car 13 doing? I haven't even checked in.
Leading by 2 laps.
Yeah, I'll put some stellar lap times down for you.
Good job, Kyle. Holy. I knew
Now
once we got around that second place, a lap down at least, if we can. It's on our side, we've got a couple of cars that are extending their pit stops out to almost 30 laps, which our Thad, which is our, what do you call him, Ryan? He's the
Race strategist.
Yes, that. He figured it out that the way that they were running, they were going to probably not have to stop by 1 to 2 different times where we'd have to. So we kind of tried to put the foot down that we get out far enough. It doesn't matter if they miss that stop or not. We'll still be so far ahead they can't catch us.
Strategist. I like it. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to transition over to Dakota Floyd and the other stint. But you're watching the Daytona 24 live on V-Speed with Team Orange Speed. We'll be back right after this. There isn't a one-size-fits-all for almost anything in life. So don't settle for a one-size-fits-all setup. Eliminate the frustration in building with an AI-powered personalized toolkit to boost you forward to victory. Optimize your setup and improve your performance over those cookie-cutter builds used by the rest of the pack. Vantage is Iracing.com's first AI setup builder. Save your time and give back to your personal life. Vantage takes any setup for any track and adjusts it specifically to your needs. Choose from over 100 cars for any paved circuit, a custom-tailored experience that's easy to understand and tested to fit any driver style. Subscriptions as low as $8.50 per month. And for a limited time, new members get a 7-day free trial with unlimited access to all Vantage has to offer. Let Orange Speed Vantage free you of the endless loop of testing and get you back on track to victory lane. Visit orangespeedvantage.ai to get started.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. Iracing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iracing.com.
Here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
Cabot,
where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here live at Daytona, the Daytona 24, live on V-Speed. We're in the second split here for Orange Speed SRT. Dakota Floyd out on the racetrack, currently leading. He is 2 laps ahead of second place driver and now coming down pit road as we transition onto the racetrack now to get a good look at your current driver, and they're doing a pit stop change. So transitioning, I believe Garrett or Thad Miller will be transitioning over here during this pit stop. A little short on the stop, but looks like a fuel only here for Dakota Floyd. Started in 3rd position, up to 1st. He's led 5 laps. And once they get this transition done, strategy talked over, and a Pennzoil theme on the 13 here tonight. Pretty neat paint scheme. Back here live, we're looking at Dakota Floyd, and he just gets done with his pit stop. He's 2 laps, now 1 lap ahead of the 212 Motorsports Cameron Evans. That's quite the gap there that you guys put out.
Yeah, it's just little by little, right? You just you put your lap times down, you try to stay out of trouble, you work the traffic, and you kind of see where you end up as you run the night through, right? So we're into the night, and we'll get through the night and see where we end up tomorrow morning.
So waking up early to get those results, you're going to be up around 6 a.m. to figure that out. Some of the drivers that participated, that when is the shift change? How many more shift changes do we have here? I call it a shift change. It's kind of like work at that point.
We got Garrett to get into the car, and then we got to do it, what, 4 more times again? Am I right? I don't remember.
Oh my God.
What says you, Ross? We still got 4 more times in the car?
I'm I'm good at math, but I don't know about all. I'd have to pull up the document folder.
1, 2.
Well, we're at 10 hours here. So
Yeah, so we'll have 3 more times in the car after Garrett gets in. So we'll have each been into the car at 2 points 2 times, and then we'll have 3 more times in the car each.
And so knowing that order and knowing when to show up, have we had any driver fatigue where we've had to make early changes to the driver swap?
Not to this point. That usually happens later in the night where somebody will just be a little tired, and we're just kind of struggling. And we look out for each other too. You'll start to notice maybe somebody's struggling a little bit, and we'll ask them the question if they need to go ahead and get out of the car or not, and we just work through it.
So that's a driver's personal decision to know when to just give the wheel off to somebody else if they're costing the time or if mistakes are being made. And I think we chalk it up to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Phone a friend. When in doubt there, you don't want to cost your team a possible win or positions.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
On point.
Last year we had this situation where we had to make an emergency call to get another driver in just because one wasn't able to make it back to the car. But other than that, so far so good this year.
Well, all I can say is don't call me.
You're going to be the first person we call.
Yeah. Hope you like seeing. I hope you like seeing those chicanes cut a little short.
Body parts laying all over the place.
Yeah. Really vacation for everyone here at Orange Speed if Bradley Cooper gets behind the wheel. But representing here for Dakota Floyd, like I said, one full lap ahead. Now, again, it's not entirely wrapped up. Anything can happen here. We still have a solid 13 plus hours. So we got football today. I know that we got a lot of people that have been cut short in the playoffs, aka the Colts. But
Hey now.
Ooh, that's a low blow.
and so were the Cowboys. They were overwhelmed.
Come on.
Let me tell you.
Come on. Well done.
We're gonna get ours tonight. I already know it's gonna happen, but I have one more week to talk smack and be cocky about it. One more week, about 3 hours, and then I'm gonna be put in my place.
Well, I guess we'll see, but yeah, I don't know. That Packers team is pretty good this year. Super young. And,
Super young. That's 90% of the problem, I think. But hey, shout out anybody keeping track of the Texans-Ravens game?
Yeah, the Ravens just scored.
Yeah. I know we're a little off topic, but I'm a huge football fan. I can talk about that every day.
I am too.
Here we are working on football day. That's.
I'm hoping I
here.
survive for tomorrow enough to be able to watch the game tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, you'll have an IV drip, getting you rehydrated, drinking your cup of coffee, watching some. Who plays tomorrow? Sorry, if it's not Packers, I just don't even pay attention to it at this point.
Lions and someone else.
and Ross is talking about the Chiefs-Bills games. Chiefs-Bills game tomorrow.
And the Lions and Bucks.
Yeah, the Buccaneers. Somebody posted something about the logo being certain colors and that the 49ers are going all the way. I have to say Tampa Bay fits that color scheme as well, but remember this. The Kirk Cousins curse. No team that's ever lost to the Vikings or Kirk Cousins in general has ever went to the Super Bowl. It's a statistical fact. If they've lost to him in the regular season, they never go all the way. So the Niners aren't making it.
Big time wreck here. Leaders wrecked.
Leaders wrecked.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy, I need to see this.
Holy cannoli.
Oh,
We're
Billy,
still in
you're
the other
still alive,
split
right?
here.
In our
I'm
split.
missing this
I
action.
didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. It wasn't me.
In our split in the West Horseshoe, so that's turn 6. There's a GT3 car that spun out, blocked the track, and the leader tried to go around the outside. G3 car backed up and collected that leader off of the racetrack and have some nose damage. And we gained about 6 seconds on them right now.
There you go.
Ooh. So I changed. I mean, everything got crazy as soon as I changed splits. Dakota's out here setting sail into the sunset, and looks like Sean's having a handful of different scenarios.
It's the tough part about this endurance racing is usually it's all calm and smooth and steady until it isn't. And then when it's not, it never settles down. You'll have 2-3 incidents back to back to back, as you've noticed right here. But
Look, guys trying to make up that time that they just lost because somebody else had a moment.
yeah, between that and teammates sometimes have issues, so the driver gets in behind them to try and make up that time. And yeah, it's not always cut and dry, smooth sailing as we'd hope.
Yeah, I would equate it to driving like a pissed off teenager once you get that time loss. And you've seen this countless times, not just in road racing, but in ovals or really any form of motorsport. Guy that knows he can perform well or is having a good day gets caught up by a back marker or a lap down car and changes the outcome of the race for them. But they're not going to quit. They know where they want to be, and they'll push it even harder, and that tends to breed more problems.
And driving angry is usually not a good move anywhere. Road racing.
Ackland fuel. That's what we call it.
Yeah. Yeah, the only person I've seen be able to drive angry successfully on Orange Speed is Ross. He's always angry, so he can drive the wheels off of it.
Is that how you guys prepped him for tonight? You just showed him all the things all the disappointments of life and constantly repeated them?
Just a bunch of not so subtle jabs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, prepping for a race in a bad mood. I don't know. I mean, sometimes you have that chip on your shoulder, and hearing that you can't do something makes you want to try even harder to succeed at it. Being the underdogs.
I mean,
But right now, it hasn't been one of the scenarios for Dakota Floyd. You guys are looking really good here in this this other split, and man, a gaggle of cars here that Dakota's going to have to navigate. He's got GT3s, he's got GTPs. There's 6-7 cars in front of him here.
Yeah, he's having a lot of fun down there. I just jumped down there.
Yeah, he's actually boxed in by 3 GT3 cars. He's able to navigate around them. But now there's drivers ahead of him that are in his class that he's trying to chase down. They were able to get a really good exit through 1 and 2. However, Floyd didn't because of those cars boxing him in.
Yeah, sometimes you got to be a little bit patient with the GT3s, especially when they get to racing around each other. There's not a whole lot of battles around the track that are for position anymore.
Yeah,
But, everybody still likes to go fast.
And that's a little bit of the difference here with endurance racing, is the gaps will get so spread out. You might occasionally see a change for position, and we kind of look in the GT3 cars. There is some changes here for what appears to be the 3rd position in this class. Navigating. But correction on that, the gap is actually 1.7 seconds, but they're putting some guys a lap down. A big cluster of cars, though, on the infield portion of this racetrack right now, and these guys being courteous. I think the patience level is still there. When does that wear off? We have an hour mark that guys just stop giving up room and start forcing people out of the way.
Yeah,
Usually
when
just
the
about an hour ago.
time.
Yeah.
In their split, probably then, but hours it'll probably be mostly around midnight. That's people start getting tired and all that, and start losing patience.
Well, sometimes it's always going to depend on somebody's individual situation, right? Like, if you're trying to stay on the lead lap, you're going to fight a little harder, so that might come earlier for you. For us in our situation right now, we're just kind of cruising until somebody starts to kind of chase us down, and then maybe we push a little harder here. So I think it goes different for every driver and every situation that the team's in.
And each individual driver too, right? You know, some drivers might get caught up in incidents that of their doing, not of their doing, that just frustrate them, and then they get that, you know, patience weared away a little bit, whereas other drivers on the same team are just still cruising because we're only 14 hours to go.
Yeah.
It just kind of depends.
Yeah, and I think that's a trait thing that you have to pay attention to when you're building a team, is what is our weakest point? What driver has maybe a temper or maybe struggles with certain portions of the track? What is their strengths? You got to evaluate and equate. That's what your strategist is paying attention to right now. Thad Miller down there in overtime, because he's got to navigate all this stuff for 2 splits, I believe. He's doing it for both cars. You got to evaluate those situations, and that's all predetermined probably 3 months ago when you guys started prepping for this, is knowing the guys that you're working with and kind of just coaching each other to gain that patience and that comfortability.
You know, I think it's probably the most fun that I get to have. I am back. Thank you. Yeah, it's probably the most fun that I get to have, because that's what I'm looking for in the months of preparation. Is, okay, can we get enough drivers that can put in the time and can, you know, balance their schedules enough to get ready for a big event like this? And then it's, okay, what are the driver lineups in each car? And, you know, we take it very seriously. We all get along pretty well. We all want to win. But, you know, people like different things in a car setup, so you got to think about that. You got to also think about, you know, any sort of a relay race sort of idea. You know, you've got the starter, you've got the closer, you've got people that can keep it together in between. And then it's just like you said, with understanding everybody's strengths. So for me, seeing the guys really develop their teamwork, just how they trust each other, how they lean on each other, how they help each other. I get a great view of that, and then we get to sort the lineups, and then Thad and I get to take one of the cars through the event.
So right now, watching Floyd, he has a class car behind him. He was able to fend him off into turn 1. Not sure if that was what position that is exactly.
It's the second place car. So he's trying to hold him a lap down here.
I see. Are you sure on that one?
I believe so. Cameron, maybe not. Maybe relative. No, it's not. Fourth place car.
Fourth place car. Okay, so
I think.
yeah, I was seeing him come through the triangle. He had tried to overtake on the outside. Floyd wisely put it down on the inside there to fend him off, and since then he's made a couple mistakes trying to navigate some GT3 cars and fallen off about 4 seconds behind Floyd now. So yeah, it's at this point, it's just don't lose the ground that you have. Drive your marks, race the racetrack, and navigate. You gotta have the spotter working overtime, make sure that everything's working kosher, and ultimately there's no reason to really push here, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, we're fortunate enough in our position right now to be where we're at. We've got Dakota in there turning some pretty damn good laps, but I mean, this keeps the emotions down and the stress down when you're out front like that with such a commanding lead, and it just relaxes, easier to make decisions.
And looking here at the last time by, a 1:33.036. That's the fastest car on the track in this class. Looking at some other drivers that are in that realm, you have 15th place in the class, Autosport Yellow, that turned a similar time, but they're so far behind right now, 12 laps down.
Yeah, but you never give up, right? You've got there's a lot of adversity that happened. We talked about that in the early stages of the race. So a lot of cars spent time getting repairs. And you're going to see some of those with maybe top 5, maybe top 10 finishes by the end, because they sit there, they get their repairs done, and they go out and work their butts off too. And we've certainly been that car in other endurance events. And as long as we can ride this one out, at the front of the pack, clearly that is better, and we like that. But as the hours wind down, one of the wild card aspects to racing like this is the unexpected. That factor gets larger and looms larger as time goes on, and drivers become a little bit less predictable around you. So you just have to be ready for it.
So sitting here at the 1 hour mark, I couldn't even imagine being in this car for 4 hours, and combined you guys have done 10 plus. Floyd a little bit through the grass there to get around some traffic. I know that in the broad scheme of things, you guys have collectively been a team for 5 years now?
Not quite that long. Nope. The team started in 2020, and then we really started growing in late 22.
Okay. I wanted to get kind of an understanding of how long, and you've added some additions. Dakota Floyd coming along there. I want to say Morgan Cook, kind of late entry there, because Morgan, you've only been racing
False.
two years. False. You were part of the beginning.
I'm OG Orange Speed.
OG Orange Speed. Well, give me the rundown on that.
Yeah, so Ryan started the team in 2020. I joined shortly after. You've heard the story when he wrecked me in that Daytona race in the Indy cars.
Yeah.
It was after the race. It was after.
Remember that, Ryan?
It was fine.
Still in the session. Doesn't
I'm a
matter.
great driver. Stop it. This is not true. Keep going.
Anyway, so had them. Garrett joined shortly after I did. Then it was Kyle, then Ross, Sean, and we
You're
decided
also false
Dakota.
now.
Yeah. Ross and
Yeah,
Sean
you
were
got me
before
in-
me.
You got
Okay.
me and Kyle backwards. It was originally it was you and then Garrett and then me.
Right. Okay. And then was it then Kyle then Sean? Sean then Kyle.
No, Sean
Sean
and
then
me.
Kyle.
Yeah.
And Riley and Dakota just recently here.
Justin Ritchie.
Yeah.
Richie before.
Forget about him.
He doesn't matter.
It's okay. It's okay. I mix up Justin and Dakota all the time too, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's the gist.
So, overall, though, you guys kind of have an understanding of each other. You've been working together long enough. We broadcasted a lot of ESRL and saw outside of Myrtle how great you guys can work together. And an aspect of a team, that's what you want to be in. So, a lot of values that you guys put out. Ryan, you could probably give me a more detailed design of what you wanted your team to be founded upon, but it's a values-driven team, is it not?
Yeah, that's what we definitely strive for. And in the heat of the moment, sometimes don't always exhibit our best behavior, but that's racing. But yeah, we want Orange Speed to be that values-driven sim racing team that is important. There's a lot of history on iRacing, a lot of reputation there about some kind of toxic atmosphere in various sessions, and not all the leagues are well thought of necessarily. People get pretty ticked at each other, and that's not to say we don't make mistakes or anything. It's not a goody two shoes sort of thing. It's just, hey, look,
It's how do you conduct yourself in those situations, correct?
right, and we all spend a lot of money to do this for fun. Right, there's not a whole lot of people at the levels that we race at that have an income based on a video game, an income based on sim racing. So how are we going to make it something that people want to be a part of? And that's where the values-driven piece comes in. So if you start with, understanding that, respect is important, tenacity, we're not going to give up, professionalism and sportsmanship. Well, yes, of course, but these are things that we learned through other iRacing experiences that you don't just assume, right? That's not the default for people. So we wanted to make things better. And so as time went on, it was a great problem to have. There were more and more people coming to Orange Speed saying, hey, I want to be part of that team. And that's really what started the growth. We wanted to grow responsibly and make sure that it was something that was providing value to every member of the team. So there's a lot of hang time each night, a lot of team members on, whether it's racing in the same session or not. There's usually a voice chat going on, and it's really a type of community building that I don't know that any of us really anticipated could get to the level that it is. To the point where it's hey, what about hanging out in real life sort of stuff? It's just you find a really strong group of really good people that you want to spend time with. So that's what we're about.
And that's a surreal moment, let me tell you, when you meet somebody that you've played games or a simulator or whatever the case may be online with for years, and you meet them in person. I tell you, 99% of the time for me, they never look the way they sound. Ever.
That's right. That's right.
So here we sit, Dakota Floyd just cruising right now. I will consider if the action's still good, and you guys are watching that other split with Sean Langton right now. How are things going over there?
13 and a half seconds back of the lead.
So we've shaved off about 10 seconds from where we left off when we watched the beginning of this broadcast here live on V-Speed, the Orange Speed SRT, rocking it at Daytona 24. Dakota Floyd, Sean Langton in their class right now. First position for Floyd, second spot and closing for Sean Langton. We're going to take another quick commercial break here live on V-Speed. We'll be back momentarily right after this. There isn't a one-size-fits-all for almost anything in life. So don't settle for a one-size-fits-all setup. Eliminate the frustration in building with an AI-powered personalized toolkit to boost you forward to victory. Optimize your setup and improve your performance over those cookie-cutter builds used by the rest of the pack. Vantage is iRacing.com's first AI setup builder. Save your time and give back to your personal life. Vantage takes any setup for any track and adjusts it specifically to your needs. Choose from over 100 cars for any paved circuit. A custom-tailored experience that's easy to understand and tested to fit any driver style. Subscriptions as low as $8.50 per month. And for a limited time, new members get a 7-day free trial with unlimited access to all Vantage has to offer. Let Orange Speed Vantage free you of the endless loop of testing and get you back on track to victory lane. Visit orangespeedvantage.ai to get started.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. Iracing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iracing.com.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Marty's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Oh, big wiggle.
Here comes Milo using the bottom zap car, closing in behind.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Marty's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here live at Daytona in the Daytona 24. We're in split 39 with Sean Langton, who's chasing down the lead. The last time we left, he was about 27 seconds back. Now that lead cut down to just under 13, and he's making up time. Last time by, 9/10 of a second faster than the Cuda E Motorsport, Carlo Maria. So we're sitting still in here with Ryan Depew and all the drivers from Team Orange Speed. We've got Ross Phillips, Morgan Cook. Riley, I, for some reason, draw a blank on your last name currently. Kyle Stewart's in
Laverne.
here. What was that?
Laverne.
Laverne, yeah. I don't know why I was drawing a blank. My bad.
You're okay.
Nighthawk.
Nighthawk. You have to call me Dragon. That's a Step Brothers reference, but here we are back, professional level. See that? 11 seconds now. 11.4. He is shaving down the time. Phenomenal drive here these last 4 laps.
This is when our car is the best. These last 10 laps of the run, fuel's burning off, car balance doesn't really change, it just picks up speed because it's not as heavy. And Sean just marches to the front.
Could somebody spot for me real quick?
I got it. Oh, no, I can't.
I got it. Yeah, I'll do it.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks,
Later.
So we lost a couple guys here. Was that Justin that came up here and asked for that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Justin Ritchie down there spotting for Sean Langton. And now Morgan Cook being called in to take over the responsibility. We still got Kyle Stewart, Riley Laverne with the name changed. Thank you for that. Ryan Depew and Ross Phillips. So here tonight, though, it's boiled down to 2 things. One, being punctual, hitting your marks, doing what you need to do personally, as we see a GT3 car going off the track. I'm not sure who that was, but they lost a ton of time. Very hard to sort out on my timing screen who is where. But the other portion of the drive is, well, now we've got the other class of cars that are having problems, as you see Sean Langton go around on the outside of that GT3 car. That was the one that went off track. The lead cut down to under 12 seconds. Fastest part of the stint, as we heard there from Morgan. And Ross, you kind of evaluated how Langton likes to drive this car. He's in his prime right now for these last 10 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. He's gonna be cracking down some pretty good times, especially on nice warm tires, and you know, like I said before, driving off the rear of that thing. So he's a monster.
So I don't have accurate statistics here. My numbers are all over the place, but 380 laps have been completed according to my timing screen. Not exactly sure how long you guys have been out there on this particular stint.
Oh, let's see. We've got about 6 laps left. So this will be the 23rd lap of this stint. And we've been racing for a little bit more than 10 hours now. Like you said, we're on lap 380. And we're projected to do just over 900 over the course of the 24.
That's a long projection. I can't even imagine it. This track even longer than the normal oval setup that I'm used to running. And these cars, much quicker than the stock car, actually having a problem there with the car behind Link, and he blinks out for a moment. That's the other thing to take into account is we have all these teams, all these drivers, and we talked about equipment with the pedals, but how important is it to have guys that have a consistent connection? Is that something that you guys definitely take into account when you're recruiting for this?
Oh, man. Well, I wouldn't get to stay on the team then if that were a straight requirement. Yeah, I've been having some issues, few system failures already today, so I'm glad I'm not driving. But yeah, it depends a lot on server traffic, and you know, iRacing hosts all of these, all of our time slot splits out of Boston. So anybody that's a little bit closer to Boston, a little less latency, hopefully keep their connection pretty strong.
Well, and we have, I believe, around 100,000 members, concurrent members on iRacing, and at any given time you can have a bounce between 25,000 to 75,000 online. I would say every bit of the 25,000 that's normally online at this current time is in here doing this event.
Yeah, I think it is one of the most popular ones. Certainly can understand why. You know, you put in the prep work. You like to geek out on setting up cars and find a few tenths here, a few tenths there, and then it's just like we talked about before with why Orange Speed even exists at all. It's that community feel. So hopefully we can avoid the angry sort of voice chats, you know, people shouting at each other sort of thing that happens in racing sometimes. But yeah, it's a good time.
That lead grows back a little bit here when navigating some traffic. GT3 car, not sure on the number on that one, but yeah, just branching out. You've got about 8 laps left here before Langton comes down pit road to top off with fuel. And the lead kind of kept in check here. He's faster through this portion, the infield portion of the racetrack. He seems to really shave down the time. It's those exits and that bus stop that he seems to lose a little bit. What kind of adjustments could you guys make here to help maybe on the short run with this car full of fuel?
Let's see. We've got 4 laps, I think, until we bring him in. And the performance through the bus stop is something that kind of, once you set the car up, it's hard to make big changes, big swings at it, because we can't change the rear wing angle after the race starts. So we're at the setting that we like. I think it's 13 degrees. Anybody who's got higher straight line speed probably has it at 12. So the little things, the in-car adjustments, like the anti-roll bars, both in front and back, brake bias, shifting the balance to the front or the rear. And then you also have, we can do tire pressures like you do in NASCAR racing. We tend to avoid those a little bit, though, when we're turning both left and right.
Well, you see right here, Langton going into turn 1. He was flashing the lights there at the car in front to let him know, hey, I'm catching this leader right now, and you start to see that interval change again down to under 12. The slipstream, though, when you get behind a car, Langton could use this to his advantage, having this car in front of him. He could use that as kind of a pick to slipstream, get some higher speed down those straightaways, and then that spoiler angle kind of nullifies.
The draft is substantial. Yeah, we can top out just over 200 miles an hour on the front stretch in the draft.
he is coming out for what would be NASCAR 1 and 2 after driving through the infield. And then we have this long back straightaway with the bus stop chicane. It's going to be a hard left hand, followed by 2 right hand and another left-hander. All flat on the infield. You see him actually trying to navigate around this car. It looks like the draft, the slipstream, not exactly where Langton wants to be. And so a lower degrees, and we can kind of give you the dumbed down version of how that works, but the angle of that rear spoiler creates a drag on the back of the car and will actually slow it down these straightaways and in these steep bank turns where the car is pretty much wide, flat out open. When you get behind another car, punching a hole in the air in front of you, a lot easier for that air to cut over that spoiler, and then you don't have that drag. But it also creates another situation here with a GT3 car. That Porsche didn't even know Langton was coming and just took the normal apex, but good heads-up move there by Sean to back it up and allow him some space. Like we were saying before, you got that dirty air in turns, and that's a different situation. The car doesn't handle quite as well.
Yeah, that's what we see certainly on the NASCAR side of things and on something like IndyCar. But through our testing leading up to the event, that dirty air effect was really minimal, hard to notice for the most part. So you can follow very closely through the bus stop. And what you saw, Sean backing up a little bit, he wanted to catch that other prototype in front of him at an advantageous place for him. When you catch somebody at the bus stop, that is not a very good place to pass. All right, Bradley, I need to drop down for the pit sequence. We're going to do a driver change. So you might get Sean and Dakota up here if you could stick around.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate you, Coop. I got to get down to my channel as well. Garrett's about to jump in the car.
Good luck, Ross, and Godspeed. We'll see you on the other side, buddy.
All right, buddy.
Now we got Kyle Stewart, Riley Laverne, and you guys have been rather quiet here, but you have the floor. Anything that you'd like to throw out, any input at all? You guys have been a part of this as well, so what's your evaluation so far as we're about halfway through this thing?
Yeah, so on our car, the Orange Speed SRT USA car, we kind of got out to that lead down. We're just trying to click off laps and get to the end here. I was quiet at the beginning because I was over here getting me a snack in. I was eating some celery and carrots, and I didn't want to be chewing in your guys' ear. So, yeah, here we're enjoying our time. Just trying to click off the laps here and get to the end.
I'm actually craving celery and peanut butter now. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I'm here for you, Bradley.
Top tier snack. And that's another thing too. Prepping, and when do you make time for your naps, for eating? This is almost as real as it would get without actually being sitting in an actual car. So you've got to kind of plan your entire day, your entire weekend around this.
Oh yeah, you gotta let the wife and kids know that, hey, I'm gonna be busy. Hey, I'm gonna come down and grab some snacks here or there, or wife pick me up some food this week for the prep of this. So yeah, there's some stuff that goes into it that a lot of people I don't think really consider. We talked about fatigue, right? And like part of the fatigue is the time that you're here, but making sure that you eat and have that nutrition in you to kind of continue through it. Like, yeah, we all want to drink those Red Bulls to keep that energy up, but that's only going to last you a little while, and then you need another Red Bull. So yeah, we try to do it with some of our food and stuff that we eat throughout the event.
So now down pit road for Langton. What's going on, Dakota? A little transition there. Looked like you were setting off into the sunset.
I was definitely trying my fucking best, that's for sure.
Oh, hey, we're live on V-Speed, buddy.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I'm a little wore out. That was it was a little stressful towards the end.
Sorry.
Flying in with F-bombs.
Yeah, coming in here with frustration from a solid 4-hour stint.
My fault, yeah.
It's all good. Hey,
I'm definitely happy with how that one turned out, that's for sure.
So right now you're sitting P1, driver change now with, we have Morgan Cook, I believe, getting in the car down there?
No, Garrett's getting in our car.
Oh, okay. So Garrett's going to transition there. Ross spotting or?
Yes, Ross is spotting. Thad's our engineer down there. Just helping out spotting and over general strategy stuff.
All right, we were watching Sean Langton. Now we have Justin Ritchie in the car, and we haven't really heard much from Justin here tonight, but he was down there a moment ago spotting, getting ready for his transition, and now he's back out on the racetrack. This car was chasing down the Cuda eMotorsports driver of Carlo Maria. They had him down to about 12 seconds. Now the stint grows to just over a minute. We'll bring the ticker back up on the screen. Yeah, I guess we probably should lead when we transition here. We're live on V-Speed for everyone that joins up here. So we're just clear that, hey, it's not the first time it's happened to Coda. We know that's not the first time.
Yeah, I'll definitely take the L on that one. My fault.
So I dropped into the Twitch stream there for a little bit, and maybe that was the mindset behind it. I'm live on Twitch, so I'll say and do what I want. It's my stream.
Yeah, I definitely don't have any kind of language filter on my stream. That's for sure.
No, I don't really either. And so let's talk about that. The transition to be live and professional. How hard is that when you have you got kind of a terms of service here on iRacing, and the frustration starts to sink in when you're behind somebody or they just do some boneheaded move. How hard is it to conduct yourself and not get a little vacation from the service?
I think when I'm behind the wheel, I get frustrated. I do everything in my power to make sure that I'm not hitting the microphone button. Because for a while there, I just had my radio set to the team, so I didn't even have the option to come over and say anything. But surprisingly enough, for as long as we've been in this session, we've only had like maybe one or two guys making boneheaded moves. Everybody's been pretty respectful and moving out of the way when they need to, and not really necessarily racing us that hard when they don't need to.
So after that transition, we were watching your split there for a little bit, but after that transition, any time lost, anything go wrong, everything pretty clean on pit road?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I had any big issues outside of anything being parked behind some GT3s and some big packs there a couple times, but no, I think everything was fine. We set down some really good laps. And yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better double stint, honestly.
Now looking at Orange Speed Justin Ritchie, he's on the relative about 1:25, so didn't lose a lap, and I think after these pit stops, they're on the 1 lap stint here. They're just shy of going a lap down. Here's the leader. Carlo Maria is probably close to that transition for the driver change here, you would think. I know we're kind of all over the place with what stints being watched where. We'll most likely have Sean Langton up here in just a moment. Actually do have Sean Langton here. Sean, we watched the transition. You were chasing down that leader, but started to navigate some traffic. Those last 8 laps or so is kind of the car handling in your favor. How did that go? You shaved off about 12 seconds from when we last watched you at the start of this broadcast.
Hey, Coop. Yeah, we were feeling good in those low temps. We got down to, I think, 68 degree on the track temp. I was able to cut my fast lap, I think, at 31.8. So we were feeling pretty good. Thinking about going another stint, but you know it's still early. We got not even halfway. Don't get too tired and worn out. You know, we got Justin to go out, log some laps, and that's all we can do right now.
Well, then we talked about that earlier. How knowing when maybe you're in a situation where it would cost a little time to the team, or just knowing that you're at a point of fatigue. The evaluation of putting this whole thing together and all these drivers out here tonight on the same page, but you've got so many other people doing the exact same thing simultaneously. So working on that strategy prior to the race and then actually executing it during the race. How difficult is that, being behind the wheel and then thinking of all these other things going on simultaneous?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I mean, it's easy to say on paper, you know, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do a triple stint, quadruple stint, but then you get in the car after I mean, I just did a double stint, and I was driving pretty damn hard. I'm ready for a little break.
Understandable. I guess we're having celery and peanut butter. I hope you find your way up there to the Orange Speed snack room and get yourself in a bunk and take a little nap there and get yourself rested up for the next portion.
Gonna go get a little neck massage, hospitality tent.
Yep. Man, you guys got it all.
Yeah.
Orange Speed spares no expense for their drivers here. The Daytona 24. Complimentary neck massage. Man, I'm sure you guys don't drive for a Formula One team.
Gotta pull out all the stops, man. Gotta keep us comfy.
Yeah.
But no, it's been fun. I'm always excited to run for Team Orange Speed. I'm glad the other car is doing well.
You got one on your
We're
left.
right there, so
We're on the left.
it's fun. We're not even halfway yet. We got a lot of racing to do.
Just heard the spotter there. One on the right, one on the left.
Yeah, they're busy. Spotters are busy.
So a lot of work going into this, but we're at the halfway point officially, I believe. A lot of racing left to be done. This race going all the way to, let's say, 8 a.m. is the cutoff there? Yeah.
Almost, yeah. It'll be about 7:45 to 8 a.m. Eastern time.
So a lot of racing left to be done. I'll probably check back in here late at night. We got some other broadcasts to take care of here live on V-Speed. Tune in later for those of you watching. Saturday Night Racing League will be at Homestead, Miami. So for those Oval fans that are asking what is going on, what happened to Daytona, this is the infield road course, the 24-hour, I believe it was Rolex, the 24-hour Rolex, correct?
Yep.
Daytona 24 here on Iracing, presented here on V-Speed, and Team Orange Speed having a great show. 2 different splits. Got a car about a lap ahead, and then we've got a car about, it's a minute 30. I would say after the leader takes their transition on pit road. I think there was about a 7 or 8 lap difference here. We'll see that gap shorten back down. Hopefully, Justin Ritchie is on point here with these next few laps, and I think we'll see that 12 seconds pop back up on your screen. I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to cover something like this. This is the first time that V-Speed, we do have drivers that are running currently that we put in as a team, but we really didn't discuss covering this race. It was something that, we have a lot of things going on here, and we didn't want to commit fully, but for Orange Speed, you guys have been really good to us, and we appreciate the partnership directly. And Ryan, I know that you had mentioned this months ago, that we were in the talks of working something out, and even maybe that it's not completely the coverage that, oh wow, that was close.
Yeah, GT cars should stay low.
Yeah.
You didn't.
So, a little hold your breath moment there. I lost track of what I was saying. But I want to go back to Ryan. I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity, and I know this wasn't exactly what we had talked about, but I hope at the very least, we covered and got the gist of what you guys prepared for, what you're executing here tonight, and ultimately we got to see you guys in good fashion performing very well here tonight in 2 different splits.
Well, we appreciate you being on board for this, Bradley. We enjoy the product on V-Speed, enjoy getting to be a part of that week in, week out too with our VSRL divisions. And here, this is a tandem of cars with VSRL drivers. And so hopefully the audience sees familiar names and familiar personalities, and you're always great with the interviews before, during, and after the race. So yeah, glad we got to make this happen. Thank you.
So outside of that, Justin Ritchie in the car now. Running in second position. I believe pit stop's happening. Yes. So that car on pit road. We're going to wait and see here before we end our broadcast to see what that gap comes down to. It's shrinking slowly. I don't know, the way it's shaping up right now, Ritchie could have the lead here.
With a lap taking a little bit more than a minute and a half, pit stops being about 50 seconds, sitting on pit road, adding, it's going to be close. It might look pretty similar to where it was when Sean got out of the car.
Yeah, that's barring that no mistakes were made down here on pit road. Actually, car coming back out on the racetrack, so now cutting back out with a new driver. Actually, the second stint here for Carlo Maria, and Barbaria, I think is the pronunciation of the last name. So 20 seconds here, but also take into account every driver gets fatigued, and that might be the case here. We got fresh tires on this car, and this has been a solid hour that I've been watching that he's been in the car. So over time, this thing's going to start taking a toll, and that lead could change, dwindle down. Justin Ritchie in the car here, fresh legs on the court. Hopefully, when we check back in later tonight, we'll see the 31 car within that 10-second, 12-second gap that we saw before. But again, appreciate the opportunity. Thank you guys very much for being a part of this broadcast. Dakota, Kyle, Riley, Ryan, I could go on and on. Ross, Garrett, Thad, Justin, Morgan. I think I got them all there.
Sean.
Yeah, the glitched S. I see dots there. Sean, I don't know what it is with Discord, but it just gives me an S for your name.
That's streamer mode you probably have on.
But outside of that, thank you very much. Appreciate the time, and watched the Daytona 24 with Team Orange Speed live on V-Speed. We'll check back in a little bit later and see how things are going. If we need to report here on V-Speed, if something dramatic happens, we'll put up another live. But for everybody here at Orange Speed, we thank you. And for Adam Baker, Morgan Cook, this is Bradley Cooper telling you we'll see you a little bit later tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, take care, everybody.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Dwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag